Hello and welcome back to Around the Block. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to another episode where hopefully we're going to get some more wins under our belts against Skillica and Trenton. Firstly, just a quick thank you to everyone who tuned into yesterday's stream where I got to represent Lincoln City in the EFL Football Manager Cup. We lost to Stoke, which was expected, but it was great to have you all there. Great to have, such a nice bunch of people around watching the game. Really appreciated that, so thank you ever so much. Plenty of things to talk about in today's episode. A bit more of a focus on finances, okay? So we start off with transfers, because there have been a few players leaving the club. In fact, we've had one player join the club. So this is the player that's joined the club on loan from a team in Ukraine, a centre-back. We just need another centre-back in there just to have a bit more depth and a little bit more quality. And physically, he's fantastic. Mentally, in some areas, very, very good. Anticipation's a little bit low, but we can get around that. And technicals, where they matter, very, very good. Issue is, not a clue how to pronounce his name. The first name I've got down, Maxim, easy. The second name, Hajvitsia, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Not a clue how I'm going to pronounce it. So I think we're just going to get rid of that surname. Just pretend it doesn't exist and just go for the Brazilian style of just one name, Maxim. So he's our new centre-back and has played actually pretty well for us so far. He joined us in on loan, but we have had to get rid of a couple of players. Now, I think you've seen Gali go for £10,000. He's gone. But we did have some players who were complaining quite a bit that they weren't getting enough game time, and some players arguing with me constantly. Lucas Toth, I'm looking at you. So we had to get rid of a few. So Will Webber's gone on a free transfer to a team in Serbia, I believe. Oh, no, another Slovakian team there in the second division. Ondrek's gone to Puchov on loan for the rest of the season. Lucas Toth, who is a bit surprising to go out on loan because he's been a very good player for us, but he just complains to me constantly and always gets other players to complain at me as well. So he's gone out to Duslo Sala. I just can't be dealing with him anymore. So he's on loan for the season. And David Kasarak has gone out on a free transfer to Zvolen. Now, the transfer window has shut, but we are going to try and get a few more players out in the January transfer window. And that is because the board give us far too much money to pay wages with. Just clicking into finances, our wage budget is £18,000, okay? And we are currently spending £12,886 on wages. That 12.8k that we spend on transfers per week, that roughly equates to just under £600,000 per year, okay? Which is a quite sizable chunk of money. It's by no means the most. It's obviously ninth, quite modest for the league. You've got teams like Slovan Bratislava spending nearly £4.5 million on transfers, and other teams spending way over £2 million, nearly £3 million, and a few clubs nearing on £1 million per year. So we're quite low down. But it means we've got a pretty competitive budget. I mean, we are competitive for, I'd say, 6th down to 12th, something like that. That's probably where we should be trying to sit in the league. And whilst it's good to have a competitive budget, there's an issue with this that I've sort of realised by looking through some of the finances, okay? So we're spending roughly £600,000 on wages. If we look at income, last season we brought in £521,000. That's all the money that we brought in last season, okay? And that is less than what we spend on wages. That's just player wages, not even staff wages and things like that, and other expenses. So already you can see we are fundamentally making a loss just through wages. Now, what you can see, we are only a few months into the season and we've already made £516,000. You're thinking, Tom, calm down, nothing to worry about. Well, there is something to worry about because £200,000 of that has come directly from the chairman just pumping money into the club because he thinks he has to, because we are currently sitting on minus nearly £400,000, okay? So he keeps putting money into the club. We're not a sustainable club. We're not making the money. And that's where the issue lies. So we've got to be getting rid of some players, reducing wages to actually try and make a bit of profit. Now, this season, because we are in a high division with better teams and things like that, we are making more money in some areas, as you can see, like gate receipts already at £25,000, which is nearly more than what we made last season as a whole. So we're going to make more money on tickets this season. We made a lot more on season tickets. We're making money from TV revenue as well, mainly from the Slovak First Division. Merchandise, we're already making a lot more money there. Players sold, that's obviously a bit, iffy, but we might make a bit more money there. Sponsorship hasn't really changed at all, which is a little weird, but hopefully we'll get some more sponsors should we stay in this division. Matchday income is almost matching what we've done last season as well, so that'll increase as well, but it's not massive increases, So really, we've got to get rid of some wages. Player wages, we're spending about £50,000 per month. Staff wages, about £14,000 per month as well. That's an increase on last season too, definitely. So we'll spend more on the staff wage than we did last season. We go over 200,000. So we're going to be spending a lot more money on wages. So we need to try and reduce that and increase our income somehow. The best way to increase the income is probably by staying in this division. And that's how it segues quite nicely into the schedule. And I think we're going to do a good job of staying in this division and potentially having a bit of a cup run too. Since you guys were last here for the game against Zlate and Slovan Bratislava, we've played 2 cup games, won them both. Brilliant stuff, both against second division sides. So if we didn't win them, that would be quite embarrassing. But against Poprad, Shitijel and Barbosa scored goals in there. And then in the second round, we played Lipani with Danko and Timovsky Radchenko scoring the goals in that one. We're also quite lucky because in the third round, we've been drawn against Samarin, who are also a second division side again. So that should be another routine win. In terms of a league, though, we have been playing relatively well. We had a 5-3 win over Trnava, which I probably saying wrong, but we had a 5-3 win there, and again, we got very lucky. We took all our chances. If we didn't take all our chances, we would have lost that game probably. I think we had about 5 shots in that game, and we managed to score pretty much all of them, so that was great to see. Maxim Barbosa hat-trick and Peter Sina penalty. Prisov probably deserved to be a draw that game. We got so close to stealing the win, but they've got a penalty in the 92nd minute to level things up. But a draw is probably the correct result there. And against Zilina, who are one of the favourites to win the league this season, they beat us 1-0 in a game where we played quite well, but we're never really properly in it. So we can't be too harsh about that, but we probably deserve to lose that. But in the grand scheme of things, we've still only lost 2 games in this first half of the season, which is pretty impressive. And we still sit 4th in the table, as you may have seen earlier on, 8 points clear of relegation and 4 points clear of that 7th place target that we set ourselves right at the start of the season. The first target really should be to stay in the Slovak First Division. That way our reputation will increase, we'll get a bit more sponsorship money, and hopefully we'll just make some more money and we can try and settle the wage budget down a little bit and try and keep a nice steady flow of income coming into the club. Of course, if we finish in the top half of the table, that'll help even more with a bit more reputation and a big chance to qualify for Europe next season. And if we did possibly qualify for Europe next season, that would be huge in terms of prize money, exposure, reputation. We should make a lot of money next season. So if we get into Europe, that is the best way I'll ever have of getting a coaching course, I reckon. But anyway, enough babbling on about money, finances and stuff like that. It's important to bear that in mind, and we need to try and work on it a little bit, but we need to put it on the back burner right now as we're focusing on the game against Skalica. So, Lesnovsky is in goal. He's been great so far this season. Tim, Filipak, Maxim and Gunnarsson are probably the settled back line now, I would say, with Sina and Nagy in the midfield today. And Shitijel is relegated to the bench for this one. Polaveka starting on the left, Brigant on the right, Bry in the attacking midfield and Barbosa leading the line. I do think our attacking 4 is a very, very good attacking 4 for this division. It's just a bit of a shame that the midfield and defence are not quite so good. Although I'm saying that, we are 4th on the table right now, which is a fantastic position to be in and much better than I thought we would be. So actually, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on the players. Anyway, kickoff is upon us here today in the first game. It's probably about 10 minutes into the episode or so, because I was babbling on so much about unimportant things, essentially. Well, it is important, but maybe not important to you guys. Let's zoom out this a little bit, just so we can get the full pitch inside the table and the match stats here. It's a very long pitch here at Skalica. Looks like we may have a chance to come forward, though, as Filipak on the ball plays it back to Lesnovsky. Can he get it out wide to someone instead, rather than going through the middle? Because they've not got lots of players out wide, Skalica, for some reason. I guess that's not their tactic for some reason, but we didn't get it out wide. Instead, we gave it straight to them, but they've given it straight back to us. And Barbosa gets it on the end of the ball in towards Brigant. Brigant into the area, shoots, but plays it well wide. Very long, but very narrow pitch, this one, I feel. Very narrow, this one. Not a lot of space between the box and the byline by looks of things there. So obviously, Skalica trying to make their pitch fit their style of play, but they've got a very packed midfield. I don't know why they want such a narrow pitch. But as the rest of this first half continues, not an awful lot going on in terms of highlights and things like that, which isn't great to see. Hopefully, we can just grab a goal just before half-time. That would be the best time to score, and potentially we could do right now, as Gunnarsson's throwing it into Brigant, Brigant into Bry into Barbosa, who somehow put that over the bar. Not a clue how he did it. Should have scored it, but there we go. Half-time, 0-0. Aggressively then, far from police and what I've just seen from his team, we need to go out there and win the game. Let's go attacking right off the bats and say, get creative. See if we can just create some nice chance right at the start of the second half. Or is it going to be Skalica who's create a chance right off the start? No, it's us as Polaveka gets on the ball, running forward into the area, beating his defenders, shoots, good save from the keeper. That was pretty well positioned for that one. Corner to be floated in though by Brigant. Brigant in the middle, cleared. We're going to get a chance though as Sina collects that cleared loose ball, goes out for a throw in. Come on then, lads. I want to see a bit more oomph from you lots. A bit more oomph. I want to see it as we do win possession nicely there as Brigant gets into the area. Go on, lad. Shoots, somehow drags it wide, though. We are having the chances in the second half. We're definitely having the chances, but the front 4 that I was praising massively, all sitting on very, very low ratings right now, which you hate to see. Okay, right. Who needs to come off the pitch then? I'd say Brigant does. Let's bring Danko on for him instead as a bit of a winger instead. A winger on attack. Let's try that one out. Also tempted to bring Tyson Furman on, but we might leave that a little later. Although it's saying that we've got 20 minutes, what have we got to lose? Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on. Tyson Furman on for Barbosa. And potentially in a few minutes' time, the midfield's actually playing relatively averagely, so we might bring Shitigel on shortly, but we'll make those 2 changes for now. And then we'll also say, show some passion out there. As a corner comes in, it's cleared, but only as far as the number 10 who shoots, and it somehow goes in the back of the net. I think it takes a massive deflection there from some player in Scalica. Let's watch this back again. Okay, so it's cleared, or it's actually headed back by their defender, shoots, and yeah, their man there just nods it away from the keeper, who was about to save it, but their man just gets in the way. Not much we can really do about that, unfortunately. Come on, lads. 10 minutes to go in today's game. I want to see something from you. Let's bring Shitigel on. All right, Nagy off, Shitigel on. Come on. Is Andre going to make a difference, though? Is he? I'm not sure he will or not. As the clock ticks down, we've lost this one by looks of things unless we can grab an equaliser right now. And I think we deserve the equaliser as Tyson Furman is through in behind the defence. Tyson shoots and scores his first goal for the club, rescuing a point for us. The young striker who came through the last youth intake. He grabs it. You love to see it. I know I'm saying his surname wrong. I've just realised that I'm saying it completely wrong. It's spelt Furman, but it's said like Furmin or something like that. I've just realised that I've pronounced that wrong. Tyson, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But there we go. A draw. Looking at the final stats of the game, unless we score on right now, which we have done, Maxim gets it right at the death. You love to see it. What a 90th minute for us. This is a reverse Valencia debacle, although not quite as dramatic as that, with not as many goals, and it's not a cup final. If you don't know what the Valencia debacle is, someone in the comments will tell you about that, because that was a debacle. But we won the game 2-1 in the end through Maxim and Tyson Furman, with moving up to 3rd in the table as well. This is the fact. I can't believe how well we're doing. My club and Slovan Bratislava do have games in hand on us, so I do expect us to drop down to 4th again. But then again, we are 3 points clear of a team in 5th. We're doing fantastically well. So it turns out we've got 2 weeks or so of international break, which Gunnarsson is on international duty for, playing for, I think it's the Iceland under-21 squad rather than like the main team. I think, as far as I'm aware. But it's good that Gunnarsson is playing international football. That's really good for us. And looks like he played very well. Very well indeed, picking up a 7.9 rating in that game in a 3-1 win over, is that Latvia? Latvia, 3-1 win over Latvia, good stuff. Also, Peter Sina playing some games for the Slovakian under-19 squad as well. Good to see some young internationals in the side. Our under-19s just had a big win as well in their game. Some of our good youngsters, Patrick Davinsky, Timofsky Radchenko, Tyson Furman, Gompi Hartmanov, all playing well there. Good to see. Anyway, we're now here for the game against Trenčín, which should be pretty decent. But I think we're going to move back to this more defensive formation for it. Because I think Trenčín are, whilst they haven't performed so well so far this season, they are one of the best teams in the division. I think we need to maybe be a little bit more defensively set up against them. In the end, actually, it says Lincoln EFL Cup there. I didn't even use this formation in the end in the EFL Cup. Perhaps I should have done, but this formation doesn't create that many chances. That's the issue. It's more focused on defence. I don't know. So we'll give it a go today, at least against Trenčín. So the lineup that I've gone for this particular game, we've got Lesnovsky in goal, we've got Durek, Filipak and Maxim as that back line. The centre defensive midfielders, the defensive midfielders are Tim on the left, Senior in the middle and Kontar on the right, because Gunnarsson is looking very tired, as you can see, that 84% overall condition. So he's tired, but Kontar, who's actually normally our CDM, can actually play right wing back quite nicely, so that's quite good to have. Shitigel and Nagy line up in the midfield, and we've got Barbosa and Tyson Furman starting up front. We do have to miss out having Davinsky on the bench and Gompi Hartmanov on the bench, because we can only have 5 non-EU players on there apparently, and apparently I didn't realise Belarus isn't in the EU. I mean, I don't know why I didn't realise that, but it's not. So that doesn't help us out massively, because we have got Shitigel, we have got Radchenko, we have got Davinsky and Hartmanov, who are all Belarusian and all playing here. So that's not ideal when we're trying to fit in only 5 non-EU players into the starting squad. Anyway, kickoff is upon us here today, so hopefully we can get a decent result against Trenčín. Hopefully, fingers crossed. They're playing a nice black kit, if there was some nice like thin pink stripes. I'm a fan of that. First highlight of the game is here now, and it looks like it's Trenčín's chance to come forward as Bumba gets on the ball, cross in the middle. It's headed down nicely at the near post, but goes wide in the end, which is obviously quite lucky for us. But we're doing pretty well so far. Half an hour gone. We are limiting Trenton massively. Only the one highlight so far. And that's the closest they can get. That's absolutely fine. If we can just grab a draw against them, I'd be quite happy because they are favourites to come third this season. So they do have a very good team managed by Johan Cabaye, I've just noticed as well. Interesting. Apparently, in this version of Football Manager, he goes from, I'm not sure if he joined St Etienne in real life. That's pretty much he did join St Etienne in real life. St Etienne to Slovan Bratislava and is now manager of Trenton. That's a little, and he's got a Continental C licence. Where's my coaching course? Either way, at half time, we are thwarting Johan Cabaye's Trenton side. If we can just keep doing this in the second half, a 0-0 draw with these guys, I think would be really good. Maybe give it until like 75 minutes. We then move into that more attacking style that we used in the last game, and that might work. Unless, of course, we score a goal right now. We've won a penalty. Cena is set to take it right now. I need to sort out the penalty takers so much. Cena does have best penalty taking on him, but Barbosa has got 13 finishing and 9 penalties. Although Tyson Furman's got 15 finishing. I think we give it to Barbosa, who's just slightly better on penalties there. Let's give it Barbosa. Come on, lad. I'm backing you to score this one. He steps up for it then. Come on. I'm trusting you. Get the goal, and then we just hold on and get a nice 1-0 win. He gets the goal. Let's stay defensive. This formation's working really well defensively for us. I think this is the chance. Come on then, let's get another win today. Another win in today's episode. That would move us back up to third in the table. Have other teams played? My club have played by looks of things, and they must have lost one of them. I presume one of their games in hand was against Slovan Bratislava because they're only on 10 games, you see. So maybe, I'm not sure. But either way, they must have lost a game in there because they're still below us in the table. Now that we're on level games played and we're winning, and I presume that they're winning their game as well. Oh, good. What's happened there? Oh, we've just about got the ball then. I got very scared then. But with 10 minutes to go or so, Furman's not playing brilliantly. Let's bring on Rytchenko instead. Let's give him a little stretch of the legs out there. Tim not playing brilliantly either on a 6.5, so we can bring Nuda Sishin as well. And Durek also not playing brilliantly, but we haven't got another defender to bring on. We've not got a huge amount of depth in the squad there. So we'll make those changes, leave it like that. 10 minutes to go, just that added bit of pace, quality. Kontar's looking tired, so let's bring Gunnarsson on for Kontar, and that should be a winning formula. Come on, lads, what a great result this one is. I'm so pleased with how we've played in this first half of the season. We just need to keep it up, and it's all going to be fine. So a brilliant win there for us. Fantastic stuff. 1-0 up to third in the table. Only 3 points off the top, although Slovan Bratislava do have 2 games in hand on us, so I suspect they'll win those games. The only teams to beat us so far this season are first and second in the table. We've beaten this team, Dunstradey, who I think favourite to come fourth. We've beaten Trenton, favourite to come in third. Michael, I think we drew with them. They're favourite to come fifth. We might have beaten them. How did we do against them? Michael, we drew with them, yeah. So we're doing fantastically well. We just need to keep this up in the second half of the season, and we're going to be easily in the top half of the table. I think because this league is so short in terms of the amount of games played, form right at the start of the season, if you start the season off to winning ways, you carry that form through for a vast majority of the season, I feel. And we've done just that. We've done so well. I'm really pleased. Next episode then, I think we come back for Dunstradey and Slovan Bratislava again. 2 of the biggest games in the season. We come back for these really tough ones and see if we can match them and do it again, basically. After that, of course, we then got 2 games off, and then we'll have these 2 games for the final 2 league games of the first half of the season, or the first part of the season at least. So it's come around really quickly. So thanks ever so much for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. And if you have done, please do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.